Hello, my kings and queens. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show yesterday. I hope you learned something new. All facts, folks, all facts. So, you may say, what is going on today? Well, I'm here to tell you what's new, baby. So, first up to bat, we got FDA can't conduct most food safety inspections during the shutdown. Oh, shit, folks. You know what that means. Secondly, we got Trump walks out of a meeting with Schumer and Pelosi. I'm so tired of hearing about that chick. Alright, and then bigger news, we got HUD investigate over expired federal housing contracts. The shit has hit the fan, folks. Welcome to Keeping It Real with the Deja Show. Let the show begin.
Alright, folks, you know what time it is. Show starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Showtime. Give it to them. Give it to them. Give it to them. Give it to them.
Alright, let's get straight to it, folks. News flash for the day. FDA can't conduct most food safety inspections during shutdown. What did that mean? That means you better start looking what the fuck you eating, folks. Alright, foods to be cautioned of during this time. Fruit, fresh fruit. I say all fruit. Frozen fruit, fresh fruit, shit. Seafood, unpasteurized juice, dairy products, and prepared salads. Shit. Now, they say 48 million get sick from food poison each year. You hear that, folks? 48 million get sick from food poisoning. Excuse me. And 3,000 die. Then what the fuck? Damn. I mean, what the food safety doing then? Shit. 48 million get sick from food poison each year? And you worrying about now? Man, y'all better get on your fucking job worrying about the goddamn federal being shut. You better stop playing with me. Alright, let's get back on topic. Now, we're going to run this clip. Please watch. Please open your ears. You know? Come on. Don't sleep on me now. Now, I'm going to say this again. Fruits to beware of. Fresh fruit, seafood, unpasteurized juice, dairy products, and prepared salads. Now, roll the clip.
The FDA has temporarily stopped its routine food inspections at U.S. facilities due to the partial government shutdown. FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb told media outlets that the agency is working to ensure that inspectors are still reviewing high-risk facilities. For some context, federal regulators typically handle about 160 routine food inspections per week in the U.S. According to Gottlieb, about a third of those are at high-risk food processing plants. He says the FDA determines risk factor by looking at the type of food handled, the facility's process, and its compliance history. High-risk foods include items like dairy products, seafood, unpasteurized juices, prepared salads, fresh fruits, and vegetables. Some experts say halting the inspections puts the U.S.'s food supply at risk. The CDC estimates that 48 million people get sick from a foodborne illness each year, and 3,000 die as a result. It's important to note that the FDA is still inspecting foreign food manufacturers and facilities that are suspicious or have been involved in recalls and outbreaks. Around 40% of the FDA staff are furloughed during the shutdown.
Now we have up to bat, Trump walks out of meeting with Schumer and Pelosi. Well, Schumer claims that Trump said that he will not open up the government because if he does, the Democrats won't give him what he wants. So the answer is no, and the shutdown remains.
The president and Democratic lawmakers are still at an impasse over funding for border security. Partial government shutdown nears the end of week 3. President Donald Trump met with bipartisan lawmakers on Capitol Hill Wednesday, but said his meeting with the Democrats was a total waste of time. He said he asked House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer if they would approve a border wall if he ends the shutdown, and that Pelosi said no. Schumer told reporters President Trump then walked out of the room.
She said if I open up the government, you won't do what I want. That's cruel. That's callous. And that's using millions of innocent people as sort of pawns. And it was wrong.
As the partial shutdown enters the 20th day, Pelosi says many government workers will struggle to make their mortgage, rent, and car payments.
It is so sad that in a matter of hours or just a few days, many federal workers will not be receiving their paychecks, and what that means in their lives is tragic.
Around 800,000 federal workers are estimated to be affected by the partial shutdown, with over half of them being forced to work without pay. After his meeting with GOP leaders, the president said his party is working together.
There was no discussion about anything other than solidarity. We want national security and border security for our country.
Later in the day, the House approved legislation to reopen the IRS, Treasury Department, and other federal agencies. The bill will head to the Senate for approval, but it's unlikely to pass.
Now, just my 2 cents. I believe Trump is right. Because if they don't give him the money for the wall and etc., and he does open up the government again, guess what? You know they're going to claim that Trump is weak. And then they still going to try and do their fucked up agenda and talk about these open borders and have more sanctuary cities, and then crime is just going to go up. More people going to be dependent on opiates and heroin and crack, you know? So now we have, and then you know what? What happened if we'd be invaded because of no wall? Then guess what? They would blame Trump and say he don't care about the American people because he let us get invaded. You know, you can't win one way or the other with these people. They don't like him, so they just going to try and say whatever to make that man look wrong. Like I said yesterday, folks, he ain't going nowhere. He going to be here for another 4 years. Alright, so let's continue on with the show. Okay, important news flash. Also, we have HUD investigated over expired federal housing contracts. Man, oh man, talk about the shit hitting the fucking fan for y'all folks out there. I'm telling you, people been warning y'all for years something was going to happen.
The subcommittee is preparing to investigate the Department of Housing and Urban Development over its failure to renew hundreds of federal housing contracts prior to the partial government shutdown. The subcommittee's incoming chairman, Representative David Price, told NBC News HUD knew for months about this impending deadline to renew the contracts, but for some reason they failed to take proper action in advance of the shutdown. HUD is just one of a number of government departments and agencies whose funding expired last month. CNN reports that because of the shutdown, HUD currently can't renew more than 1,600 federal housing contracts it has in place with private landlords that either already expired in December or will run out this month. Those contracts help subsidize rent for about 130,000 low-income households who reportedly earn $12,000 a year on average. In an effort to prevent those tenants from getting evicted, HUD sent a letter to those landlords earlier this month, asking them to reach into their own pockets to cover any shortfalls they might experience during the shutdown. A director for an affordable housing advocacy group told NBC News it's unclear why HUD didn't shore up the contracts before the shutdown started, but the Washington Post said the department hadn't realized many of the contracts were set to lapse on January 1st. A HUD spokesman said low-income tenants have not been evicted during previous government shutdowns, but it's reportedly more than likely that the lack of government funds could cause landlords to not make repairs to their buildings or raise the cost to live there.
Alright, folks, unfortunately, people that is, relying on HUD and low income and Section 8, it is really unfortunate to tell you that there is no other way. Either you're going to have to buy a tent, live with a friend, family member, get a better job, go to school, get a side job for some extra cash. Because HUD investigated over expired federal housing contract is already expired. Yep. Already done. But now they're asking for the landlord to go inside their own expense account and help renters. Not going to happen, folks. Peace out. Now, if anything, they're going to kick out those on Section 8 and replace them with people who can afford them that are not on Section 8. Because at least they get to get paid, knowing somebody get paid every 2 weeks. But they will not raise the rent. That is one thing for sure. Now, they're saying that they want them to, still help out and still do all the maintenance and all that. Let me tell you, folks, in these products, they ain't doing no fucking maintenance. These people got roaches, rats, leaky faucet, mildew. Come on now. Y'all better get your shit together. I'm gonna roll this clip. I pray for y'all. Peace out. Okay, so with all the shit going on, I hate to just add on. I'm not a fearmonger, but I just throw it out there that's real now. Everything that you heard today, unfortunately, they are not putting on the mainstream news. They keep talking about Russia and McGuller and all that bullshit. All that stuff they try to just fill your head with. Well, we have a bonus clip today. You keep hearing that the president want to declare a state of emergency. Well, we was just thinking, oh, whatever. It was declared before by Obama and Clinton. Well, folks, we have a clip here that it is more serious than we ever could imagine. I'm not fear-mongering, motherfuckers. I'm just letting you know the truth. Okay, now, if the president declares a state of emergency, what would happen? Well, I have a clip of what would happen. But I'm going to tell you ahead of time. Motherfuckers, we are done. Everyone is fucked. Unless you have a strong head and you have a place to go that you can start farming and growing your own shit and hunker down and you got your food and prepper and ammo and all that, because I'm just going to roll this clip and let you know. Shit has gotten real. This man declared state of emergency. Ain't nobody sitting here on FaceTime, Instagram, and Snap anymore. I can guarantee you that.
Founders created 3 branches of government to limit the abuse of power. But what happens when the chief executive can bypass all of that and make monumental decisions for the country completely on his own? It's called a national emergency. Legal scholars identify more than 100 powers the president has access to once he declares a national emergency. Many would be considered illegal under other circumstances. They are broad and can be used even if they don't relate to the emergency at hand. With one announcement, the president can freeze bank accounts or even shut down electronic communications inside the United States. Some of these laws were created nearly a century ago when access to technology was minimal. What wasn't such a big deal back then could be a disaster today. The president also has broad power when it comes to our armed forces. He can essentially deploy troops whenever, wherever. This includes right here within the borders of our country.
The president can deploy the military to act as a domestic police force in order to suppress insurrections, unlawful combinations, conspiracies, or domestic violence that, in his view, are obstructing or opposing the execution of federal law.
He's only supposed to declare a national emergency when there's an immediate threat to the country, and getting anything through Congress could take too long.
Not to sort of short-circuit the political process and give the president the power to sort of act as a dictator. In theory, it should be a situation that's totally unexpected, that could not have been predicted, that is just a total departure from the norm, something different than everything else, and something that's moving so quickly that Congress really can't act quickly enough, and that the president needs more flexibility during that time period. That's what an emergency should be.
The guardrails on these powers are almost none. The Constitution doesn't give details about how to handle them, so many believe they're at the president's discretion. The Supreme Court has supported the president's actions for the most part. Congress, on the other hand, has attempted to check this power, but hasn't exactly followed through. They laid out a few rules for the president. First, they say a national emergency should only last 1 year. They want the president to tell them which powers he's going to use and give them updates on progress every 6 months. With that information, Congress says they'll meet and decide whether they'll allow him to keep the emergency in effect. This has never happened.
I I think it's easier for Congress to let the president take ownership of a national emergency and of all the whatever political fallout might come from that.
FDR did it when he interned Japanese Americans during World War II. President Bush declared one after 9/11 with armed forces, and President Obama declared a national emergency because of swine flu.
The better way to approach emergency powers is for Congress to sort of build the limits in up front so that it's not left, so Congress isn't left sort of holding back, trying to muster a veto-proof supermajority in order to pass a law over the president's veto to end the state of emergency.
These powers allow presidents to act fast to respond to crises while also giving them the power to operate relatively unchecked.
Well, I hope you all learned something. And if you've been watching this channel since I began, you already know I done warrant stuff slowly things been happening. So have others on this channel, you know. And I know as I say you know a lot. Gotta fix that. I don't know why. Probably because, you know, in the past, I done talked to so many people that didn't know what I was talking about, so I have to say you know. Because then they go, I don't know, so it's like I gotta school you. So then it just became a part of a speech impairment little thing going on in there. You know, so, see, there we go again. Alright, well, I'm gonna work on that. Anyway, got some shit to do, make some phone calls, got a stack of paperwork. Don't know why. I'm a fucking cartoon character. Anyway, this bitch got me working over here. Anyway, gonna look up some more stories and shit and talk to y'all later. Thanks for watching. And as we usually say, love, peace, and hair grease. Before we forget, let's say thanks to all my new subscribers. And if you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button, baby. You know you want to subscribe. You know you like all of this news over here. You know you like watching me. And I like watching you watch me. Alright, without further ado, we're going to end the show. Thanks for watching.